everybody, and welcome to the very first edition of Beyond Stuff, Another Throwback Show. I wasn't planning on doing this kind of show, at least not this early on the channel, but things with the quarantine and all that stuff obligated me to do this thing. Now, this show is all about revisiting old movies from back in the day, even old, new, or old TV shows or old games, and I'm gonna be having different guests in this show to discuss those things. Now, joining me today on this first edition, of course, is Luis Vazquez. How you doing, Luis?
I'm doing great here in quarantine mode, surviving the
Yeah,
coronavirus.
yeah, we're all in quarantine mode, and I'm a guy that stays at home most of the time, but I like working as well. So this whole quarantine thing is taking a toll on me. But before we go into the whole thing, there was a situation here about some voice spreading around in spreading false information about the whole quarantine thing. Apparently, there was gonna be a full lockdown, supermarkets and everything going to close. It was confirmed that was all bullshit, and you know
There you go.
these are crazy times and these are worrisome times. But it doesn't excuse us as rational people to look up information. Not believe everything we read or hear. We have a responsibility within each other to look up the information, and check if it's true or not. Because if we keep on forwarding messages without checking the information, without validating the source, all we're gonna do is mess things up here even worse, spread mass hysteria and spread fear. And I think in times like this, we do not need more fear in our lives. We need to be responsible, look for our sources, check if things are true or not, and stay calm. Things will pass eventually. We've been hearing that in China, apparently things are going better. Theaters are gonna be opening soon in China because they are recovering. So there's hope. So for you guys that are scared, do not worry. Stay at your home. Wash your hands frequently and relax. Things are gonna pass. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, starting with the show, I wanted to discuss just one of the Bond movies, which was Casino Royale. But
Casino
I
Royale,
I was in I was been watching the other movies today, and I told you, you know what? Why not? Why instead of reviewing one movie, review Daniel Craig's run as James Bond as a whole. Now we know James Bond is a classic spy story created by Ian Fleming. They've been novels, they've been video games, mostly known, GoldenEye from Nintendo 64, and of course the big movies. We have Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, and of course Daniel Craig playing the character. And we're gonna be going into specifically Daniel Craig's run. We know it's gonna end this year. It was supposed to end next month, but we have to wait until November
yeah.
to see No Time to Die, which is the final movie in Daniel Craig's run. But I wanted to discuss all these movies, and the way we're gonna discuss these movies is that we're gonna take the movies that are already released, and we're gonna rank them. And I wanted to start with you. Well, I'm gonna start from bottom to top. Which is from the four movies that we've seen your least favorite Bond movie from Craig?
Quantum of Solace is my least favorite.
Hmm. And why is it your least favorite?
It's that Quantum of Solace is more action and less story. Like, ironically, it's the shortest one in the franchise, an hour and 45 minutes, and yet it had too much action. I think the editing was done poorly. Also, like, I think the main villain should have been Mr. White. If Bond captures Mr. White at the end of Casino Royale, should have been the main antagonist in
Hmm.
Quantum of Solace, but he wasn't. He was this other guy who I found him really boring and forgettable.
And I agree with you. Uh, First off the top, I don't hate any of these new James Bond movies. Even Spectre, which is the widely uh, unliked movie in this new era. I find fun out of even the bad things. And Quantum of Solace, it is my least favorite as well of the Bond movies. One of the things that I enjoyed about Quantum of Solace is the setting of all of the throughout the action sequences and everything going to Haiti. We're going to uh,
Bolivia.
Bolivia, yeah, and it was Italy, yeah, and the scenery of those places it brought me back somehow to the GoldenEye game that I used to play. But yeah, it was too much action. I think the villain was if the villain sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't feel threatened by this villain at all. Unlike in Casino Royale and in of course Skyfall.
Skyfall.
And I think this we were going somewhere with Casino Royale because we had like an overarching story. We were starting with an overarching story, and while this movie takes like a little bit of the story, it goes another in another way. I think it's weak. The villain, of course, and one of the things that I love with Bond is the villain as well. The villain has to be just as menacing as Bond is, as a agent and having license to kill and all that sort. And I saw it today. I saw how sucky the villain was compared to the others. So that's my least favorite as well. Now your third favorite is
Spectre. I think Spectre was better than Quantum of Solace. The issue that I had with Spectre is that the plot was similar to Mission Impossible 5, which
yeah.
ironically Mission Impossible 5 is also like almost like a rip-off James Bond, and yet it had the same plot, it was better executed. And that feel of Blofeld being like this step bro James Bond is it's like, oh my god, they ripped it up from Austin Powers, and Austin Powers like, hello, parents, and James Bond friends like, are you seriously? Are you serious? I love I love so much.
I think the reason why Spectre was in my third of the four movies on this new Bond is the fact that it connected to the other movies so well. I mean, say about how predictable the story does, about how similar it is to Mission Impossible, but I like the way how they connected. I love it. I love the way the other characters have more to play with. We see M having a little bit more to play with, Q as well, Moneypenny too. Unlike on the other movies, which we do see them in the movie, but they are not as hands on into the story as they were in this one. And callbacks to the whole overall Bond franchise. Well, the little Easter eggs with the little cat and Blofeld there, like petting it as well. I like those little nods. And I love the villain. I love the scar as well, which is the trademark of Blofeld. And nowadays in this modern age, it looks a little bit silly that we have a villain with this scar here and with a wide eye as well. But I enjoyed it for what it was. And I think if they were going to end Daniel Craig's run with Spectre, I wouldn't have hated it. I think it would have had it had a good ending for Daniel Craig's run, and I was surprised that we're gonna bring him back because even after throughout the whole Spectre, you know, medium the reporting of the movie, the interview with Daniel Craig, he was done with the role after this one. So after this one, and then hearing that they're gonna bring him back for one last movie with No Time to Die, I was surprised. So as long as you make a better movie than Quantum of Solace and Spectre, I don't mind. Now,
same thing here. That's my expectation from No
yeah.
Time to Die. As long as it's better than Quantum of Solace, I am happy with that.
Now, I think that our second favorite Bond movie is the same one, which is Casino Royale. Am I right?
Well, actually, for me, I consider both Casino Royale and Skyfall masterpieces. Easily, like top five best James Bond movie. But as for me, with Daniel Craig,
Mhm.
I will put number two Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Yeah, for me.
I
I,
would.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Give me your point.
yeah, Skyfall is a great movie, and I love the dynamic and the relationship between James Bond and M. But oh my God, did she have to die? I cried at that scene, and it's a special movie for me because this was the last movie that I saw with my grandparents, and my grandfather was the one that showed me, James Bond, showed me movies like Goldfinger and Salt in the Board. So it has a special place in my heart, and the villain is so freaking
Javier
wow.
Bardem playing the
Yeah,
villain of
Javier
Skyfall.
Bardem.
Skyfall for me is my number one, but is a it because of the same reason. It was emotional. It was greatly filmed. I think Roger Dickens was the director of photography for this one. Direction of Sam Mendes fantastic. I like the third act of the movie in the mansion. I love that whole sequence, and
Oh yeah,
of course, Adele's theme song in that movie sold it for me because I'm a
oh
big
yeah.
I'm a big time Adele fan. And when I heard that she was going to do the Skyfall theme, I was over the moon. And then her winning the Oscar for best original song, I was happy. And
Yeah.
the emotional stakes, and the emotional the emotional relationship that both Am had for Bond. I think it was so strong, and that's what kept me on to the movie because I really love Daniel Craig playing off to Judy Dench, and I was bummed that we had to see her go. I
Yeah.
and again, she was the connective tissue. Even though it was a different take on the character, it was a connective tissue between the last Bond, which was Pierce Brosnan, to this one. And it sucks to see her go, but again, we have Ralph Fiennes playing M, and I think he was brilliant on Spectre. And of course, my number two, which is your number one, is Quantum of Solace. No, 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 no.
Casino
Casino Royale.
Royale.
Sorry, sorry. Hey, I, I,
Blooper.
I was, I was watching the movies today, so I have everything in my mind yet.
Yeah, yeah. You drank too much martini. You confused with the movie,
Oh
so it's
yeah, I
okay.
like the martinis, and those scenes with the blonde girls. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, my number one pick, I live with the Daniel Craig movies, is Casino Royale because I think it's one of the greatest like reboots and reinventions of the character. I mean, Daniel Craig's performance is of the shores, and I think the reason why I like Casino Royale just a little bit, like a tiny bit more than Skyfall. I think it has more credibility than Skyfall.
Mm.
Again, the love scenes between James Bond and West Berlin are like one of my favorite, couples in a movie ever because they meet, they're like trying to read each other out, see their intentions. They don't trust each other. Eventually, they do trust each other. They help each other out. And what I love about West Berlin is that she's not like a typical James Bond girl. She's strong, independent, and she saves James Bond a couple of times throughout the movie. It has a very powerful story about the importance of trust, who am I gonna trust? And Evergreen, I love her. She's one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen. She has one of the most beautiful voices ever. And there's just one scene in which she's like talking to him and saying you're like the bravest guy, and then like she goes like, "Oh, you're not gonna let me in there, are you? Because you're on back on." And he's like, I got no armor left. He's stupid from his side. That scene was so touching for me. So those are like the many reasons as to why Casino Royale is my favorite to me. It's like a romantic movie disguised as a spy thriller.
Yeah, and the reason why I really love Casino Royale so much is because this is how you do a reboot. You take the essentials of what the story of the character or whatever property you're trying to reboot, and you stay true to it while adding some new depth and some bigger scope to it. That's the main reason. That's the reason why I love so much. The Ducktales reboot. I love this new interpretation of the James Bond movies with Casino Royale. It's because they get how to do the reboot because they stay true to the character. This character, the character itself, when with the older movies and and Pierce Brosnan and everything, is a little bit dated. But as long as you know how to play it with the modern times, because let's be honest, a the Bond character, the raw Bond character, wouldn't work in today's society. With the whole mean food thingy and everything. But this
Yeah.
Bond works. I think just like the same issue with to me with Bond back in the day was the same issue that I had with my favorite show Doctor Who back in the day, and that's because there was a point that they bring in these women characters just for the pleasure of the male audience and everything. And the reason why I love this new Bond movies the most is because these women characters these Bond girls in this movie, they are strong as themselves. Evergreen is a perfect example of this too. Uh, and that's why the reason why I love the new companions in the Doctor Who show more than I love most of the classic Doctor Who companions. They work on the modern day, strong independent women. I don't remember the actress name on Spectre, but I really love her too because she is a doctor and everything. And she didn't need Bond, but she fell in love with Bond, and I hope she's brought back in No Time to Die. And overall, I think compared to the other Bonds, this is a strong Bond. Daniel Craig's performance as Bond was fantastic throughout the whole movie.
No,
And yeah,
yeah.
and we can say about how okay Quantum of Solace was and everything, but I think one of the strongest things about this new take on Bond is Daniel Craig's performance.
No, yeah, Craig. Daniel Craig, I would say that it's tied with Sean Connery as my favorite Bond because his performance is so, unique, so different, and yet it's cool. It feels real. Instead of him using women, like women use him, and also another reason why Casino Royale is my favorite of the James Bond movies that his introduction at the end of Casino Royale with the classic line that is Bond, this one, I think that's to me one of my favorite classic, introduction with that line. I would say that alongside with Sean Connery's Bond, James Bond, and Doctor No's like my favorite James Bond intro, and he just gets so sucked up into it, and I love it. He did a fantastic job, and definitely it will take some time for me to get over when he leaves, in November officially.
Yeah. Now we have a long way to go to the November, and we have longer ways to go to figure out who the fuck is gonna play Bond next. Now, before we end the show, I want to, I want to see if, with today's actors and everything, who do you see playing Bond after Daniel Craig?
Actually, I would love to see Idris Elba play James Bond. He's a great actor. He's British, and it would be interesting to see, a black actor take the role of James Bond. That would be interesting.
I will be so. I've been on the Idris Elba Bond camp forever, and the biggest issue with casting Elba as Bond is his age. Because let's be honest, they're not gonna bring in an older actor to play Bond in whatever thing they have planned next after Craig. So I have a very hard time figuring out who could play Bond next. One of the main things for me that makes Bond is he has to be British or at least play British good. And I hate picking a white guy once again for the Bond role, but I think Henry Cavill will be great as Bond.
I was also thinking of him as well. Wow, you just read my mind.
You know, I love him as Superman. I love him as Gerald from The Witcher. But the thing that grinds my gears so much is the fact that Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with Superman. And
No, he
and
doesn't. I didn't like the move.
Henry Cavill's not gonna stay young forever. So I want to exploit Henry Cavill's talent to its limit. So I think if we need him in another franchise other than Superman, I think Bond suits him perfectly. He looks fine as fuck. He has the physicality. He has the energy. He's still young. He's still on his age to play Bond. So I think going for Henry Cavill would be a great choice. Now,
Yeah, definitely agree with
now let's go to an even bigger controversial topic. Let's let's fan cast a female Bond. I am in the camp that I am all in for female rebels, but I think as long as you keep the 007 numeration for whatever whoever comes next, I think a woman could play this role perfectly. And I was thinking for this one specific, I would like to see, and I know she's a little bit older, but I think I can make the exception here. Gillian Anderson playing the 007 character. What do you think
you. Yeah,
about that?
it will be interesting to see a female one. I just hope that,
No,
if it has good writing, I'm done with that.
yeah, like I said before, you cannot name her Jane Bond because that would be too stupid. As long as you make her her
Yeah,
own character, but give her the 007 numbers, I think I'd be thrilled with that. And they're gonna do,
keep it here.
and I think they're gonna do that with the new No Time to Die movie because I think the woman that let me I keep forgetting her name, but I think she was gonna play the next 007, or I think she's gonna play a double O agent in No Time to Die. Her name is, and she was on Captain Marvel. Lashana Lynch. Apparently, before the movie was even filmed, it was rumored that she was going to play the next double O agent, taking Bond's place. Whether she's 007 or not is we'll have to see in November. But I think if you play with that thing, like, oh, she's 007, she's just not James Bond, I think it can work. So I will honestly think that Gillian Anderson will be perfect for that role because I think she brings she's good looking, and we see her as Scully. We know her as Scully from the X Files. She has that that presence that requires to be for Bond to be.
Yeah.
So I want to announce that we're gonna be coming back to this show, another throwback show. We're gonna be looking next time. We look for the Bond movies. Now we're gonna look for something sillier. I want to look for something more fun. So in the
Right.
next episode of another throwback show, I want to review what we do in the shadows. What do you think about
Nice.
that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
So I think this is it. Where can the guys find you, Luis?
They can follow me on Instagram, Luis Andres Potter.
And they can find me on Twitter at is the one nerd, and you can follow, of course, every social media of Beyond Stuff at Beyond Stuff PR, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. You can find it at Beyond Stuff PR. Stay tuned. We're gonna have another throwback show reviewing what we do in the shadows. And I'm still working on having the Nonsense of Stuff show done, of course, via audio with the other guests that I have lined up. It's not confirmed yet, but stay tuned in the social media. And I'll be seeing you guys next time here on the Beyond Stuff channel. See ya.